Hi, it's Elena from FinancialDemix.com, where I give you the tips and tools to manage your money, increase your savings and income, and decrease your debt. Are you tired of making payments towards your debt each month, but it seems like it's not going anywhere? Then keep watching because I'm going to share with you the tips to help you pay off your debt and create a plan to pay off your debt. The first thing that you need to do to pay off your debt is to first commit to paying off your debt and also write down your why. You can have every intention on paying off your debt or even completing that 5K. But if you do not actually commit to making the process happen, then it's not going to happen. So you have to make a commitment to yourself that you are going to actually achieve your goal of paying off your debt. Why do you want to pay off your debt? Maybe you're just tired of making that payment every month to all of your debts. Have you ever totaled up that amount? We'll get to that later. Or maybe you're in a position where you just want the freedom and the flexibility to be able to do some things that you want, and you feel like that your debt is holding you back from doing those things. Maybe you actually want to travel. Maybe you want to have more money to put towards your wealth building goals, and your debt is in the way of that. It can be anything. Let me know in the comments below why you want to pay off debt. The next thing you need to do is stop adding new debt. You can't pay down your debt if you keep adding to it because you're not making any progress towards your debt payoff goal. And so you're on this continual roller coaster and you can't get off, which in turn is going to lead to you being frustrated and giving up on your financial goals. And that's not what we want. The next thing you want to do is determine how much debt you actually owe. So this was that part I was talking about before. You're going to list all of your debts and you're going to include the following: the name of your debt, your current balance, your minimum payment, your interest rate, and I also like to include your current interest charges. And here's why. Sometimes we never think about how much we are actually paying in interest because we're just continually making the interest payment. But if you look at your debt, sometimes you're making a payment. Let's say, for example, maybe you had a payment of $125 on a credit card, but then as soon as you make your $125 payment, an interest charge of $75 is coming back on the card. So your debt has only moved by $50. Now, those are moments where you feel like you are not making a dent in your debt. And knowing how much you are being charged monthly for interest will hopefully keep you motivated to continue to pay off your debt. Now, if you're not sure what debts you actually owe, the first place I always say to look is at your bank account statement because you'll see exactly what you're paying each month. Then always go to your credit card statements to see what your interest rates are, what the monthly interest charges, and your current balance. Or if you're still not sure exactly what you're owed, you can always go and look at your credit report, which you can get from annualcreditreport.com. You get one credit report from each credit bureau for free once a year. So if you haven't used all of your free credit reports yet, which you shouldn't, you can also pull your debts from there. And just a small note about annualcreditreport.com. Since you get one from each credit bureau free a year, I always advise people to retrieve one credit report every 4 months. That way, you'll be able to see what the different bureaus have on your credit at different times of the year without using your 3 free credit reports. But you can also just pay for a credit report also. The next thing you need to do is create a budget. I know you're always hearing that from me, but that's the best way to make a plan for your money. By creating a budget, you're going to see how much money you actually have left over after you pay all of your expenses for the month. And that money left over can actually go towards paying off your debt. Now, the one thing I want to make sure that you do include in your budget is fun money. Fun money is money that you can do anything you want with without any repercussions. I like to have people include fun money in their budget because it keeps you from going crazy. Fun money was created by Big Uncle Dave, Dave Ramsey, and that is one of my favorite things about his principles. If you're not sure how to create a budget, I have 2 videos on it. You can check out my videos on creating a spending plan and my video on creating a zero-based budget. I will link them both down below. And you can also grab my how to create a budget freebie to help guide you through. Next, you're going to calculate how much extra you can put towards your debt each month, and this is outside of the minimum payment. Now that you have created your budget, you have an idea of how much money you have left over after you've paid all of your expenses for the month. Now that you have your budget in front of you, I want you to write down which items on your budget are needs and which items are wants. Which one of your wants can you cut out of your budget each month to put towards your debt payoff? You can also look at how much you have left over after you've paid all your expenses to put towards your debt goal. Now that you've decided which of your wants that you want to cut back on or which expenses you're going to trim in order to put more money towards your debt, you want to total those amounts up so that you can determine how much extra you can put towards your debts each month. Next, you would choose your repayment method. In this method, you put your debts in order by smallest balance to largest balance. And you put all of your extra debt repayment money towards the debt with the smallest balance first, while still making the minimum payment on all of your other debts. Once you have finished paying off your debt with the smallest balance, then you will take that full amount that you were paying towards your smallest debt and roll it to the next debt in line. And you will continue rolling those payments over to all of your remaining debts until you have paid off of your debt. The whole purpose of the snowball method is that it gives you the motivation to keep going because you typically will pay off your smallest balance pretty quickly, which will make you feel good. The second method is the debt avalanche method. And in this method, you will actually put your debts in order of largest interest rate to smallest interest rate. You will put your extra debt payments towards that largest interest rate balance while making the minimum payments on all of your other debt balances. Once you have paid off that largest interest rate debt, you are going to take that total balance and move it to the next debt while still making the minimum payments on your other debts. The whole purpose of this method is to allow for you to pay less interest because you are knocking out those high interest rate debts first. Even though you are paying less interest with this method, sometimes this method can be a little frustrating for some because you're typically paying off that higher interest rate debt over a longer period of time. The way that I like to combat this is by creating goal milestones so that you can continue to be motivated while paying off your debt. Now, I go more in depth about these 2 payment methods. Plus, I talk about 3 additional repayment methods in my video on the 5 debt repayment methods, which I have linked below. The next thing you should do is look for ways to increase your income. After you start paying off debt, you're going to want to find additional ways to make the process go faster. And the best way to do that is to increase your income. The first way you can look into increasing your income is by working overtime at your current job. So if your job allows for you to work overtime, definitely get on that list if possible so that you're bringing in more money that you're able to put towards your debt. You can also look into getting a part-time job. You can look into starting a side hustle. Some side hustles that you can look into: doing ride sharing, food delivery, babysitting, mystery shopping, and even catering if you're good at cooking. If there's items around your house that you are not using at all, you can look into selling those items so that you can get more money to put towards your debt. One of the places in which you could sell your items to if you have electronics is you can sell items back to Decluttr. Decluttr is a great service that allows for you to sell old cell phones, if you have tablets, if you have certain types of laptops, you can sell your items to Decluttr and they'll give you money back for them. They also take books and movies, and I think they might take CDs, but don't hold me to that. So those are some things that you could get rid of around your house. You can also sell some items on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, or Depop. Those are all places where you can sell clothing and shoes and even some of your nice handbags from your closet and get money for the items you don't use. You also need an accountability partner. An accountability partner is the person who is going to hold you accountable for reaching this goal of yours to pay off your debt. They are very instrumental. And make sure when you're picking your accountability partner to pick that friend who is going to call you out. Do not pick your friend who is going to allow you to continue to shop or allow you not to put money towards your debt repayment because tickets to the hottest concert are getting ready to be released, or you want to take a trip somewhere. You want that friend who's going to call you out and remind you of why you're doing this in the first place, and who will also be there when you're tempted to buy, and they'll help talk you off the ledge. You should also create goal milestones while going through your debt payoff journey. And the reason is, for some of you, you may have a large amount of debt that you are looking to pay off. If you don't have goal milestones, sometimes you may become what we call debt fatigue and just really get tired of going through the process of paying off debt and feeling like that you're not really enjoying life. But when you have goal milestones, that will allow you to feel like you still have moments in which you can enjoy life but still work towards your goal. So for example, maybe you'll have a milestone of after you pay off your first debt, maybe you will, I don't know, go to the nail salon, go to the movies, go to a nice dinner, just do something that you really like that's maybe not too expensive, because of course we don't want to take too much away from our debt payoff journey, but something that you truly enjoy and really want to be able to not necessarily give up on a regular basis. An easy way to do this so that you're not making decisions like right when you hit the goal milestone is to go ahead and write out different rewards on a sheet of paper and stick them into a jar. And once you reach that milestone, you can pick out a reward from the jar and actually go and do that reward. I think that's going to keep you motivated and excited to get to the finish line. Now, while you're on your debt payoff journey, if you still have good credit while you're on this journey, don't look past looking for credit cards with a 0% balance transfer, where you could possibly transfer over your credit card balances to a card that's charging no interest for at least, I would say, a year. Now, there is, of course, a balance transfer fee, but if you compare, it may be better for you to actually transfer that balance over to a 0% card than to keep paying a high interest rate on the card that you currently have. So also look into that as an option to help you pay off your debt. And remember, if you transfer your debt to a 0% card, make sure you put in that effort to pay off that card in that time frame in which it is 0%, because they do go back and charge you interest on your balance. So don't slow down the process because you actually have this 0% card. This is to help motivate you and help you make a larger dent in your debt. And also, do not charge that other card back up. If you have to cut up the card, that's fine, but I don't advise you to close that account, especially if you're going to need your credit score later. But do not charge that other card back up. That's going back to our other tip of do not continue adding on debt. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button and make sure that you subscribe and share this video on Instagram. And don't forget to tag me so I can actually reshare that you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. See you next week.